time for the Bleed Lows Podcast with your hosts, Alonso and Juan, Alicia Del Valle, and the babyface gimmick in the sky, Roger.
So we're 2 weeks out from the Tokyo series. Can you believe that? In 2 weeks, the Dodgers and Cubs will be in Japan for the start of the Tokyo series. It's incredible how fast this offseason is gone. Now spring training, it seems like it's flying by. Seems like they just got there a couple weeks ago. I mean, it was a couple weeks ago, right, that they got there. But we're joined here. We have another episode of the Carne, Asada, and I'm joined again by Drea and Lalo. How you guys doing today?
Yeah, pretty good.
Doing great.
So give me a high five, Dre. Bam. All right, we've been practicing this high five, guys. So give us some slack, cause we'll get it.
So before we get into all of that, Dre, you gonna take care of some business for us, right?
Indeed, I will. Bet Online is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting in 2025. Mm-hmm. Whether you're a seasoned fan or a first-time bettor, Bet Online is your ultimate game day companion. With the largest selection of odds and everything from NBA to March Madness to the NHL and UFC, Bet Online continues to be your number one sports betting source. From every three-pointer to hat trick, Bet Online has you covered with odds, stats, and more for every game, every play, and every win. Bet Online, the game starts now. How are we doing, fellas?
Wow, what a stud. That was amazing. That was her first try, guys. And that I got to say, that was a grand slam out the park. I'm doing fantastic. How about you, Raj?
I'm doing good. We just got back from Arizona a couple of days ago. Incredible. I mean, if you guys haven't gone out there, it's something to do, to go check it out. I guess for me, it's the experience, right? You go out there, when you're just going to Dodger games, right? You get there, you get to your seats, you watch the game over, kind of you go back home, right? So what people love about spring training is that, they get there, they get to go on the backfields, they get to see these guys go through their routines, they're working out, they're out there on the backfield, like I said, taking batting practice, taking infield practice. So it's totally something different for, that most fans don't get to experience. And, like I said, just, you get to go out there and do that. I know Andrea is a big collector of autographs and stuff like that. So that's something as well. I mean, you'll see, all these fans lined up waiting for players to come out. And, these players will go ahead and sign, and they'll sign, especially for kids. They're always signing for kids and stuff. But a lot of people get stuff signed. So it's definitely a cool experience. I know, Lalo, you've gone out there before.
I've gone a few times, and I know you go quite frequently now. Did you notice a bigger crowd this year over previous years?
Yeah, I mean, I think too, a little secret for, those that are going, try to avoid the weekends if you can, because that's when it's super packed. If you get there on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, that's probably when you're going to see the most people. And if you try and get in there during the week, it's kind of your best time to get out there. But, I think the Dodgers one is always packed. It's just, for me, I feel like everybody that's going to Arizona is going to see the Dodgers. In previous years, I've gone around to a couple of the other stadiums, and nearly nothing comes close to what the Dodgers draw for, I think, for spring training. And you even see it in the games. I was talking to one of the workers there. I guess he's like kind of like a security guard that kind of just directs traffic and all that stuff. And he was telling me, Dodgers on average, they'll get 12 to 13,000, which is kind of what the stadium holds. And he was saying, like, when the White Sox are playing out there, it's probably like 2,000 people that show up. So wow. Dodgers are definitely the draw in Arizona. And, now that we're getting closer to the start of the season, we've seen, some of the regulars start getting in there. We saw Shohei Ohtani get in there. Freddie Freeman's, is back playing. He hit a home run in today's game. Shohei Ohtani had a home run in his first game back. I mean, I think now when I start seeing these guys, I know that the Dodgers, they had some losses right early, and I don't know why, but people seemed like they were worried because they had lost a couple of games, but a couple more wins now. Some of the regulars are coming back, and I think, like I said, 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, they'll be in Japan.
Drea, have you been to Camelback?
I've not. I kind of wanted to go this year, but like obligations kept me here in California. But I actually have my
Hmm.
cousin out there and some family members out there right now. So looking forward to hearing their stories. But yeah, definitely on my bucket list. I definitely want to get out there.
Shout out to the cousin. What's the cousin's
Yeah.
name?
My cousin's name is Skylar. So he's out there enjoying. So,
All right.
he'll be watching this stream eventually, bring me back a souvenir, Skylar. It'd be awesome. No, but
Especially
yeah,
now that we got his name in there.
yeah, no, he'll be very, very happy. So, having a good time out there, and next year I will be joining for sure.
Yeah,
All
definitely.
right.
Like I said, look into it. Look into it. I'd say even for now, because if you want to find, hotels, all those places to stay, they book up pretty fast. So it's definitely you want to, you know, this year we kind of I booked a hotel, not the greatest hotel to go. I mean, it was kind of one of those in a kind of rundown area, so you kind of want stuff, but if you're looking for Airbnb stuff like that, I mean, just kind of go
Mm,
ahead and book that stuff early. But definitely something I think that don't it's close. Like I said, it's pretty close. It's what 5-6 hour drive if you're kind of in the LA area. Um, I say do it. It's something to like I said, it's a different experience. You're up close with these guys and kind of really seeing what these guys put into the long haul of the season.
mm.
What their everyday work. They'll talk about it. They want to do their routines. They want to do this and that. Right. You get to go there and you see firsthand, like, oh, this is their routine. They come out. They do batting practice. They go do these. Fielding drills, whatever it is. Right. You get to see it firsthand. So I I say if you're thinking about it, just do it.
Do it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just go
I'll
ahead.
be I'm more bougie, so definitely do that Airbnb. I probably won't be won't be in the shadier places. But yeah, no, I definitely am gonna put that on the list to do next year because like you said, I'm an autograph collector. I'm a little
Wow.
obsessed with my autographs. So I'll definitely be there, trying to sneak in where the little kiddos are, put my ball in, see if they sign. That would be fun.
But
All right. Well,
speaking of like we mentioned, a couple games in now, we saw Shohei, Freddie
Mhm.
Freeman. Did you guys capture the? I don't know if you'd seen Shohei and Dave Roberts have kind of a little prank war going on. I don't know if you guys have caught that. Uh,
It's
it kind of
awesome.
goes back to the whole Porsche thing.
Mhm.
When Joe Kelly got a Porsche, and then there was some talk of last year that maybe Shohei was going to get Dave Roberts a Porsche, and
Mhm.
then there was one during the season. There was an interview going on, and Shohei brought out a little toy Porsche car, and he gave it to him, and and I think he had mentioned too, like, oh, if I think they asked him like, will he ever get a Porsche? And I think he had mentioned like, if we
Mhm.
win the World Series, I'll kind of think about it. So season goes on, right? And Dodgers actually win the World Series, but when spring training started, uh, was the first prank when Dave Roberts came out. He goes out looking for his car, and there's this like little, I don't know what you call, what would it be, like a toddler, like a little toddler
Like
car or
a
something like that.
toddler Porsche, right? Like a little 2-year-old's
right.
car.
Like a push Porsche.
Yeah, so it was in his spot, right? So he comes out and he's like, where's my car? Like, where did it go? Right. And then, and then Shohei comes out and they say, like, Shohei, he gave him his car, right? He put his car in his spot. So, point to Shohei. And then a couple of days ago, I think it was after the Angel game,
Yeah, Friday.
Shohei comes out. Yeah, he comes out. He goes to his car. And when he kind of gets in there, and he gets in there, it's kind of filled with like toy balls. And he opens the door, a bunch of balls fall out and some bigger balls, and all these balls have Dave Roberts' picture on them. And there was also a picture of Dave Roberts with a big old laugh like that he pulled out. So Shohei said, okay, we're tied, 1-1. But as it turns out, the winner of that was actually Decoy, because Decoy gets
Oh,
all
yeah.
those balls. He took them home, and there was a video of Decoy playing with all those balls. I mean, what do you guys think about these pranks that are going back between Shohei and Doc? Like, I mean, to me, it kind of goes back to what we were discussing last week, right? How these
Yeah.
guys are just so loose, kind of that camaraderie, that family there, right?
I think it's building the culture. I mean, eventually the car is going to be full size, right? So, I mean, that's where we're going because he said it. So I think it builds up like the little suspense throughout the season. Is Dave going to get his car? But you could just tell that Shohei and Dave Roberts they're close. And that's cute to see with like your number one global superstar, but he's still humble enough to play those pranks and not take himself too seriously. And so I really think it makes him more relatable to, the fan base. And you hear him speaking a lot more English. He's getting more comfortable. I mean, I'm sure he speaks a lot more when we're not, in front of the cameras and we don't always see it. But I definitely feel like you see a whole new Shohei that I don't feel like we saw so much of with the Angels. Either they didn't brand it and we didn't see it on camera, but I definitely see that the Dodgers know how to make Shohei feel comfortable enough to be his full self. And I think that it's just a joy to see that.
Yeah, and that's a perfect example, bringing up the Angels. I mean, they had the greatest player around and didn't know what to do with him, and so, the Dodgers are they have the liberty of being loose these days because they have such a great team. And now it's about managing a super team, basically. And they're going to need that. They do need um, that comedic relief, that bonding situation where they can all just be loose around each other. And it's amazing to see all these new guys coming in. And I haven't heard one say anything other than how great it feels to show up with the Dodgers and to hang out with all these guys and to be on an all-star cast. It's I mean, it's got to be somewhat daunting, but at the same time, they come in realizing that there's a culture there that is going to not only elevate their game, but put on such a much better show overall. So, I mean, oh man, are we gonna have to turn on the chill meter? I got the chills already, man. You guys get me excited, and right now you guys are my main outlet. Because even though I have a lot of family, they're not all as into watching the Dodgers as I am. And it's not until I see them at a Carne Asada that we have these conversations. So thanks for the outlet, Raj, because this is fantastic. And chill meter is at 1 right now, so keep track on the side over here.
I mean,
But how about your takeaways? What other than the behind the scenes stuff, as far as like what we're seeing on the field, what were your takeaways, Raj, seeing it there live and in person?
yeah, I mean, I think it's everything's coming along as expected, right? And that's kind of what you want to see, right? You want to just let these guys go out there, get their work in, right? I saw a couple of the bullpens with Shohei. Shohei's thrown a couple. I think it's 4 bullpens now. So we won't. The talk is that we won't actually see him pitch probably maybe until May, which is fine, right? Which is fine. They're going to go with a traditional 5-man rotation once they start, just because of the off days. They can, they'll have, those off days where they don't have to necessarily go with like 6-man rotation. But I mean, Shohei looks good. I mean, he was out there throwing probably mid-90s. He's coming back there. I've heard a lot. It's a very slow play for Shohei, the way they're bringing him back. But obviously, you want to protect him. You want to keep him safe. You want to make sure that everything's good. But like I said, he looks really good. Out there. Yamamoto's had a couple of games where he's been back out there and working on stuff. I did get to see Roki Sasaki. He had his first. He faced hitters from the White Sox minor league side. First batter, he gives up a bomb, right? So he ends up giving up a bomb, but after that, he seemed, he settled in a bit. And I believe he ended up going 3 innings on that, though they said it was going to be 2 innings. He ended up coming back out for a third. So, everything, like I said, is going as planned. And that's kind of just what you want to see during this time. Just let these guys go out there and, stay away from those injuries, right? You want to stay away from, you're hearing injuries already from, I've heard on other teams, I think Stanton is hurt already on the Yankees. And
that's right.
A couple pitchers. So kind of like, just go out there, get your work in. Everybody stay good, healthy, and get him going into this season. So those are pretty much my biggest takeaways.
Right. No, the goal's October. The goal isn't March, right? And so just because the clock, is, where the clock struck March already, I think it's still a good idea to slow play, because although we have what I would think is the number one rotation in baseball, or just about, I mean, there's question marks with all of them in some fashion. Like, we have, Roki, but Roki's new. He's still getting adjusted. You've got Glasnow, but, Glasnow has a history of injuries. So you got to kind of be careful with his innings. And you have Snell. Snell's amazing, but we also want to make sure that we don't, run him into the ground. And so, we have this all-star team, but the all-star team has to be in place in October. That's the ultimate prize. So, I mean, and they know what they're doing. They've seen the injuries, but I really do think that, there's a system that they're building them, and they're not going to overdo it, especially with their $700 million man. That's the ultimate, keep him safe, bubble wrap him when he doesn't have to be out there, because we're going to need him. And that's going to be amazing the first day he pitches. So must see TV whenever that day comes.
Right. Well, I heard Manny Mota talking with Bassett, and he was kind of he was talking about how this team is essentially like a 6-7 man starter rotation. And I mean, I'm not sure how that plays into like actuality, but I think that mindset is there to have these guys pitch less innings and focus on that goal at the end of the year, and the first thing I thought about was, I know that there's an inning minimum for a Cy Young, right? And Snell's gonna want that Cy Young, and so might Yamamoto, and I think they're both great candidates to do so. I mean, they're the ones that seem like they're going to be able to stay in it for the long haul, and hopefully they get their 5-6 innings per game to make sure that they meet that minimum. So it'd be nice to see a Cy Young winner. It'd be nice to see one of these guys rise to the top. So,
I mean, you're mentioning a couple of those other guys that, right? If they were a traditional 5-man rotation, or even if they go 6, I mean, like you said, even 7. Dustin May has been out there. He pitched at. He pitched. I mean, his velocity is right up. He's looking kind of like Dustin May is. Tony Gonsolin's back. So those are a couple guys that you could add, on any rotation. But right now, it's like, well, is one of these guys going to kind of either, I don't know what they're going to do with one of these guys eventually, right? I mean, how everything's going to break down. But I want to kind of touch on Dustin May, because I was there for the game, his first game back. Actually, he came back from injuries, and then last season it looked like he was on his way back, and then he had this really fluke, I guess, injury or incident, right, where he tore his esophagus, and it got mentioned like he tore his esophagus. He had surgery, and he was done. They shut him down for the remainder of last season. And so after his start a couple of days ago at Camelback, he went back, and he spoke to media, and went in there, and he discussed how he felt after that start. He said it was a breath of fresh air. Kind of felt like I can breathe, like kind of just that stuff, that pressure that was lifted off his shoulders to finally get back out there. And he didn't care, like, if he would have struggled in that first inning or whatever, right? He was just so thrilled to finally be back on a mound and doing what he loves to do. And they actually asked him, though, too. They kind of what happened with that whole situation when you tore your esophagus, and he goes into detail kind of what happened. Basically, he was eating. He said he was out with his wife. They were having dinner, and he was eating a salad. And he said, he kind of felt like it kind of maybe like got stuck a little bit. Took a drink of water, and he said once he took the drink of water, it kind of like this just burning sensation that he felt. And good thing is that they kind of like, this definitely isn't right. So they ended up going to the hospital. And he said once they got to the hospital, they were going to do like an MRI on him. And, you do an MRI, they give you that liquid to drink, right? So he drank that, but instead of going into his stomach, he said it just went out into his chest because he had that tear.
What?
So it was life threatening. Yeah, obviously it's life threatening. Point, if he said, if he wouldn't have went to that hospital, I'd be 6 feet under.
Oh
So I
my
mean, it's just crazy story. Just I mean, such like nightmare story. Like it's like from something like seen in a salad.
salad.
Yeah.
I mean, you never would think that a salad could do that. And I did hear people kind of making fun of how serious is this, but listening to his story and now you retell it. I mean, thank God that would be such a terrible thing for him, his wife, his family, the whole Dodger organization. So thank God they had the presence of mind to get him to the hospital. But
Yeah.
he looked good out there. I like seeing his emotion at the end of his first start. You could just tell how much it means to him to be out there.
All right, all right. Quick little sideways. Do we like him better with the big giant red curlies on the side, or it seems like he kind of flattened it out a little bit? I'm used to seeing him with these gigantic.
Out there.
Right. What do we think?
I don't know if he's got it like. I thought he cut his hair a little bit. I don't know if he like maybe like braids it
like
up a little
tied.
or something.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of like braided and tightened up. So I mean, I like it. He's always been one of those guys with the short hair, right? So
Yeah. What do you think, Dre? You like that? You like it?
Yeah, I mean, I like Dodgers. Period. I like their style, and yeah, he's our resident redhead now. We lost our Justin Turner, so I love the red hair. So,
but yeah, I mean, I'm definitely rooting for Dustin May. He's like, you're looking at him. He's one of the guys that has kind of the filthiest stuff, right? Like I don't know if you guys follow Pitching Ninja like online. Like you'll always see him whenever Dustin May has a start. You'll see some of the pitches that Dustin May makes because he's just nasty, just I mean filthy. So it remains to be seen how they go to the 5-man, that 6-man rotation. How does Dustin May play into that? How does Tony Gonsolin play into that stuff? We'll see. I mean, it's going to be tough, but like we said, the competition is good, right? You have all these guys who I'd imagine kind of, they see, okay, Snell did this. Oh, okay, Glasnow did this. Kind of, you're the next guy up. I think you want to have that competition. You want to be the next person up there to kind of show what you can do.
No, I think that, and then you have Bobby Miller. We can't forget him, even though he had that unfortunate, just whatever, about a week or so ago, I'm thinking. But the Dodgers on their social media posted him pitching again, and he looks his fire in his face.
He was down for a couple of days, didn't do anything, kind of that concussion protocol, but he started throwing. I think he threw a BP just either today or the day before. So he said he's looking forward to getting back on the field. So
I haven't seen the Coco. I mean, I saw when he got hit that same day, but have they shown any photos of him with the what happened? I kind of felt like it was going to come out gigantic.
If he had anything, it wasn't visible because the first day that I was there is kind of the first day that he spoke also to media, and I believe he had his hat on, but you couldn't see no bruising, no nothing like that. No,
all right.
I don't think he really had. If there was a bump there, you couldn't see it.
Right.
So what could have been bad, wasn't as bad. So that's good. Definitely good sign for him, and for him to continue because they had kind of mentioned too. He's one of those guys vying for one of those spots too, and. Any type of setback, whether he's down a week or two can really, put a wrench in him getting that spot and might having to go down to, Oklahoma City to start the season. So, he's hoping to get back out there and get ready. Cause like you said, couple weeks out and
2 weeks, right? We're right on the cusp of the 2-week mark. And, I mean, that's going to be some great times in Dodger baseball when, they get their rings. But I believe it's the Friday, the opening day on last Friday of March is what I'm hearing. So that's going to be a fun thing to see because they're already talking that they got glimpses of that ring and they said it's pretty legit. So that's going to be exciting to see. And I told you guys earlier, I want to get that gold jersey, the gold lining. I am so excited. I did not get my 2020 version. So this year it's on.
I believe Freddie Freeman might have seen a couple pictures of it.
Mhm.
The game in Goodyear, I was talking to Kirsten Watson, and I was asking her about, because she's going to get a ring too. So I was asking her if, like, when is she's going to get on the same day as the players do. And she said yes. And I believe I asked her if she had seen it. She said only a couple people have seen it. Freddie Freeman had seen it, and
Mhm.
did mention it's something really
Mhm.
cool, right, as you'd expect. Kind of, it's kind of one of those things. She said, kind of, this is what they had last year, and this year they kind of continue to outdo themselves, right? Bigger, more bling. So I can't
And
wait to
they'll
see
get
that
them on
ring.
opening day, correct?
The second day.
No,
So
it's the Friday because they
yeah,
open on a Thursday, at
Oh,
4 o'clock. I believe I want to
yeah.
say it's the 27th, right? It's on Thursday,
all right,
but they're going to get them on the Friday night, the following night.
all right,
Yeah.
all
So it'll
right.
be the
Yeah.
second game where they'll get their rings. They'll get
Mhm.
presented. So the first day will be, I mean, I don't know. I'm sure there's going to be maybe like the raising of the banner, stuff like that, kind of that first night maybe, and then the second day was when they actually will get their ring. So
Did you get
I'm
our tickets
excited.
yet, Roger? Are we going to broadcast live from opening day?
yeah, I mean that's the
Roger,
plan. I
you
mean,
treating us to opening day?
get those tickets, because yeah, that's going to be but
Oh, excited.
someone that we do know that's not getting rings, and they've continued to kind of talk.
Mm.
The Yankees, Nestor Cortez. I don't know if you caught a Nestor Cortez quote out there that's saying that they were the better team. Obviously they were the better team, right? Because they lost, right? They didn't win, so that they were the team that the what ifs, if the what could have, what could if we won this game, if we won this game, and we won this game, then we would have been the champions, right? Yeah. So did you guys hear that? What he was saying?
Yeah, I did, and I'm still like the level of delusion you have to live in to believe being not only the man who gave up the most famous grand slam in, baseball history, to say that you were the better team when it wasn't even close. The one game they won was the game we essentially punted. We gave that game to them. They didn't win, and anywhere near on the metrics that we did. So I I'm I mean, I guess he, wants to feel like, we had a competitive team, but he said that I'm sure the other guys in the clubhouse feel the same way. I mean,
Hmm.
not no. I think we broke the Yankees, and now they're growing their facial hair, and you know, it's no, what's going on in New York? Help me out with that, gentlemen, because it's not.
Go ahead and find go and find the Baseball Isn't Boring podcast with
Mm.
they had Brett Honeywell on there. And he had a rebuttal for him, saying no, he kind of he's like, there was no way they were the better team, not even on paper, nothing. They weren't the better team. The Dodgers. He mentioned too. He was saying when that series started, he was saying Dodgers in four. He kept saying it to in the club, Dodgers in four. And then Brett Honeywell, he was a really cool dude to kind of get to see last year. He kind of became this beloved player on this team. Like, he went out and he was the kind of guy that said, like, I'll do anything, and he said it at the parade, like he'll do anything for this team to win. And we saw that. We heard that he's the guy that was throwing BP to Mookie Betts in that San Diego series to get him back on track. And he was, he mentioned, he was saying Dodgers in four, and he's all like, maybe we would have won it. He's all, if I want to give up 12 like in that other game, so he's a character, and he's not signed right now, so
Wow.
who knows if Dodgers might pick him up later, but he's definitely a character, and go check out that interview with Baseball Isn't Boring, because he definitely answers back to what Cortez said.
He's like the definition of a team player from all the things I've heard about him. And
Right.
so, yeah, I think the fan base would love to see Honey back. But I also think, going back to that, like there was no chance that, they were likely going to win the World Series. And I think if the Yankees were smart about it, they would just kind of get their ego out of it for just a second and say, hey, what did the Dodgers and the scouting report see that we can take into this season and become better from it, rather than bemoaning the fact that, how dare the Dodgers talk, shit about us. Because we all know Joe Kelly's going to Joe Kelly. He talks shit about everything, and that's just how he is. He's a straight shooter. But the truth is, they said straight up, this was in the scouting part. We knew they were going to do X, Y, and Z, and we capitalized on that because they did. They did exactly that. And so, hey, learn. We didn't play the fundamentals. Let's learn from what the Dodgers are essentially giving us a glimpse into what they already knew, and then go out there and fight this season. I don't want the other teams to be mad. I want competition.
Right, and I think it just showcases also that from top to bottom, the Dodgers just had a much better team. I mean, you could say luck was involved, but luck favors the more prepared person. So, I think they did a fantastic job, and is getting back to that Cortez giving up that grand slam. I think that was just a huge mismanagement on the Yankees' behalf, because they had a pitcher in there who handled 2 innings in a row, and I think he did it under 15 pitches. He was doing fantastic. There was no reason to take him out. Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Just didn't make any sense. It didn't make any sense from any standpoint. I'm not even sure what the thought process was there. So they just fumbled it.
Mm-hmm.
They made the biggest fumble in World Series history from top to bottom, starting with that grand slam, and they just kind of stubbed their toe, and they hobbled on by, and it was a beautiful thing to watch
for us, and yet they extended.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, and we still haven't seen our Dave Roberts extension, although I'm certain it's coming. But I mean, the Yankees, if they want to get back to the World Series or anywhere near that, they're also now going to have to face the Mets. And the Mets, they did some work in the offseason. They took their Soto. They've been trying to put together. I know there's some injuries going on over there, because I kind of like to sneak into, their chat rooms and their news every now and then, and keep ahead of like we got to know our enemies, right, gentlemen? Like, we got to know what we're playing against. But I think that the 2 New York teams, I'm a little more scared of the Mets this year. They took us to 6 games. The Yankees did not. So, but
right, and they have a motivated owner. That guy. I think he's the richest owner in all of baseball, and I was afraid of them when he took over originally. And he's a lifelong Mets fan. He's a single owner. He's got the most money, and he swore to bring them a World Series. It hasn't done so. I mean, they kind of fumbled a little bit also, and I think it's not just about money. It just proves it's not only about money, because he was willing to spend, and he has been spending, and then he had to give up some players because things just weren't working out the way they planned. But they do look better. In my eyes, they look better than the Yankees. So that should be an interesting. What do they call it? They call them the Subway Series, right?
When the Mets and Yankees play, Subway Series.
Right, Subway Series, right?
Yeah.
Go Mets.
I mean, but we're past the World Series, and like the artist said, that was great. We celebrated that. Now it's a new season, so kind of done with the Yankees, continuing to talk about it and kind of bringing it up, and kind of, let's get into the new year. Like I said, Japan, the Tokyo series is 2 weeks away. I don't know if you guys saw this. There was coming out, and I saw a lot of fans are pretty excited about this drop. It's from Complex and a Japanese artist. His name is Takeshi Murakami. They're doing these special jerseys. The Dodgers one has the cherry blossoms on it. There's a Cub one as well that I posted, and everybody's like, I got to get both of them. Everybody kind of just loves this drop of that they're this collab. And apparently, I was kind of looking it up, because I know a lot of people have been asking, where can I get it? How can I get it? One way is you download the Fanatics app. I guess there's a virtual line to be the first to purchase these special jerseys when they go live. There's going to be a couple pop-ups that are going to be up in LA and in Japan. The one in LA is going to be March 7th through the 9th, and the one in Tokyo is going to be March 6th through the 23rd. If you're interested in the LA one, I have the information here. It's going to be at Complex LA in LA. It's on Fairfax. March 7th through the 9th. So you go pick those up. Not sure the price, but I'd imagine somewhere about 200, 250.
Like 200.
But a lot of people like them. Most of the people like them. I've seen people, they're cool. Maybe not for them, but a lot of people do like them, and they want to pick one up. So here's your chance.
And if anybody wants to donate some to us, I'm a medium, and then we'll do a who wore it best competition. How about that?
Awesome.
Yeah, I know, Dre, you kind of have your eye on one of those, right? You kind of like them. Yeah,
I do.
Drea?
Yeah, I got one of those embroidered hats from the Dodgers clubhouse with my Shohei cherry blossoms on the side. Oh, okay.
Oh, wait, right there.
Right there. Got it?
Go for it.
Okay.
Damn. Woo, that's a heavy hand.
Terrible. I have not been drinking this water. But no, like I think that would match perfectly with my planned outfits this year. But I know when I get to the stadium, I tend to go a little hog wild in the team store. But
No.
Yeah,
we're the champions. You gotta do it.
So yeah, if you're gonna pick those up, I mean, I'd imagine those are gonna sell out pretty fast. So jump online, get in that virtual line, or check out one of those pop-up stores, because I'd imagine they're gonna go pretty fast. So, but I think we've kind of hit everything we wanted to hit this time around. Anything that we missed that you guys kind of feel that you kind of wanted to cover?
Let me see. I mean, I just had a couple things that I really just liked, and nothing we have to get into. But I was really, I love to see the Carroll brothers play against each other. That was cool. That was cool. Cute. That was amazing.
Really
Kike's amazing throw from the hot corner. I'm not sure if you guys caught that. That was I would say Machado-esque, even though I don't care much for the dude, but it was an amazing throw. I mean, we have a great backup there in Kike in every position. What else? We know Freeman's ankle still bugging him. We want Ohtani is experimenting with the pitching. He's pitching out of the windup. That was kind of cool. Yeah, I'd like to see some more of that. I know that's coming, and we'll see how that transpires. So those are just a few little takeaways from this past week. Other than that, go Dodgers.
Sure. There's a cool interview that we put up on the Bleedos podcast, the YouTube channel, with Mark Pryor. He kind of spoke to all the Dodger injury concerns that are coming back. So he mentioned Glass. Now he mentioned the Shohei pitching out of the windup, kind of why they're doing that. Kind of it was his idea to go ahead and do that. So it's very cool. Like I said, just kind of going through all the process of kind of all these, maybe changes, like I said, with Glass now, kind of what they're working with him, so he doesn't go through the same thing. So go ahead, go check it out if you can't find it. It's on the YouTube channel. Mark Pryor, maybe about 15 minutes, but like I said, very in depth. He gets into kind of all these different guys that are kind of, they're coming back from injury and kind of making sure that they keep these guys healthy this season.
Yeah, they don't call it his pitching lab for nothing. I mean, he is, one of one out there. So that's exciting to see what he does with our pitchers. I was also kind of intrigued, or like looking forward to seeing in the next couple weeks how they're going to get that last, infield position player set into our 40 or 26 man roster, like opening day roster, because it seems to be there's a battle going on with, you've got Outman and you've got, the case for Pages, kind of looking to see how Kim does. And, people are even chatting about, hey, who's this guy, David Bodie? Is he going to, possibly crack that roster? He's on the cusp. Although, if I were a betting person, and you never know, I might bet. I just don't think we can get away from Chris Taylor. I just don't. I think that,
All right. I like that.
I don't think that they're just going to eat that contract and let him go. I still think that they're going to try to get him some playing time, at least at the top half of the season. But we'll see. I am a big Outman fan, but I also know that he hasn't had the strongest spring training this year so far. So we'll see how he does in the next couple weeks.
And we saw with Hesung Kim today, he hit a home run. He went opposite Apple Taco. Yeah. So good to see from him. I think his only prior hit to that was an infield hit. So it's going to take him some time to adjust to major league pitching, but it's good to see him go out there and hit a home run. And that's something that we know he's been working on. He's working with some of the guys kind of, to get up to speed there. But definitely, that competition, David Bodie kind of, non-roster invite just coming out of nowhere. Kind of he's playing really well as well. Couple of the young guys, real quick. Zaire Hope. I don't know if you guys seen Zaire Hope. Hope, he's been playing really good as well. He had a hit today.
Yes.
He was part of the walk-off the other night. I think he scored.
Yeah.
That guy, I've spoken to him a couple of times. I spoke to him as well right now a couple of days ago in Arizona. He is one of the most down-to-earth guys you'll ever talk to. Very sincere. He's a young kid. He's 20 years old. Check that out. It's on the YouTube. What he just kept telling me, I'm very blessed. I'm very blessed to kind of be doing this. I'm very blessed to be playing here and doing this. So check it out. Like I said, very, very good head on this young kid. He has a good head on his shoulders. He is really, like I said, down to earth, really, really good guy. And he looks like he's going to be one of the
plays hard.
Studs. Yeah, he's going to be one of these studs in the future. I don't know where he'll be this season. I want to say he might start off with Rancho just because he was there last year and he was hurt for a big part of that, and he kind of came back and finished off. But who knows? They might send him up to High A in Great Lakes, or the way he's been playing, maybe he goes to Double A. So we'll see where he starts off.
Could you imagine being 20 years old and being around all these Hall of Famers and all-stars and learning from them and seeing how they play? I mean, what were we doing at 20ty years old? I mean, it's going to be.
You don't want to know what I was doing.
You don't want to know what Lala was doing.
And actually, under wraps. Carne saw that after dark. I'm just so excited for the future because Andrew Freeman isn't just operating in the now. He's thinking of how are we going to puzzle piece this for later. And it's just so exciting. So as much as people are like frustrated with spring training, we're getting a glimpse of how cool the future of Dodger baseball is going to be. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's I love it. I think that's all we got for this episode. Make sure you guys also check out our Blitos podcast in Espanol. We'll also be dropping a new episode probably Monday. We're going to talk to the great Pepe Iñiguez, Dodgers Spanish broadcaster. Also got to catch up with one of the other new Dodgers.
The new guy, right?
Luis Cruz. This is old school Luis Cruz.
Cochito.
That I had. So I got to talk to him a little bit, kind of how things are going. That's on the YouTube as well. Go and check that out. There's also a new episode of the Blitos podcast, Japanese version that's dropping tomorrow as well. But make sure you guys check that out. To any Japanese friends that you have, there's a podcast out there for you guys as well to check out. And then we'll have Cody come back. I think he will have an episode dropping on Monday for his all the nuts and bolts. You want to know everything from the Dodgers that's going on, in depth. That's a podcast for you. This is the kind of stuff, like I said, we like to keep it laid back, kind of, what's going on. This is what's going on. Kind of is what we're thinking and feeling. Kind of this is our take, but it's kind of just more laid back. So kind of well, hopefully you guys enjoy it. Come back next week. We'll be here. We'll be talking Dodger baseball. So we'll talk to you guys then.
All right. Bye-bye, everybody.